Hello, my friends. Welcome to Monday at noon. Let me stand up here and do something real quickly, and I'll come back into the picture. So, anyway, today is another day. I don't really know what's going on. It's to do with my eye, and I don't know whether we're doing this one today, the pre-op, and then all that, and then we get ready to do it, and then another one's done. And I gotta say, man, if you've never had cataract surgery, or if you ever need it down the line, best thing I've ever done because I can actually see. I can see far away, and that's groovy. So with that, I got that coming up in about an hour, so I don't really want to exert myself too. I'm not supposed to either. So I did a little bit this morning, and now I'm kind of kicking back again. I know I can't get it all done in this house, but so I have two things I'm going to go into before we get into real things, and then these will be kind of quickly, and then we'll talk about them. So, okay, this is just nothing. It means nothing to most of you, but before all this happened, I had to get my eyes done, and before when I could see when I was younger, um, my trademark was sunglasses. And like I told you back when I had this channel, I wasn't like focusing on the light right there where that is. I wasn't looking at it. It was all over here and everything. So they would go, "What are you doing? Looking at the ground?" So then I adopted to wear these. Okay, these are kind of cool because these sunglasses because they got a built-in Bluetooth speakers on the side, so you can listen to the radio when you're running or whatever you're doing outside. That's kind of cool. So with that was my thing, and I went back and I wore sunglasses from the time I was about 20 till just till when I couldn't use them anymore and had to wear glasses. But pretty much I was wearing these every day. So there's that. Now the next one is the Super Bowl. Super Bowl to me, I wasn't going to watch it because I kind of knew how the outcome was going to happen. And the thing is, you can't argue with anyone who likes a certain team or a certain player because no matter what you see, they're going to say that it didn't happen. It was an all-up game. It was legitimate, and it was, but it wasn't. There were about 3 to 4 different calls, and as I told my friends, and it doesn't matter, male or female, no matter what your position is in this game, but the back judge has a really crappy position because they're the ones that call like roughing the passer and stuff like that, or pass interference calls or this or that, whatever. Because the referee's in the middle, see, and he does call them, but they get together in confab. So the very first penalty that started in this game was a pass interference penalty against Kansas City. The guy fell, you can watch it again, touched the ground, never, never, never touched the guy. They called a 15-yard penalty, gave him first down. Then, either that play or the next one after, they nailed them again for some offside penalty where we looked at it over and over. We couldn't see it. They got them 1st and 5, and then they went down and scored. And then it started happening. All these calls, we just kept going against them. Oh, their defense played crappy. Maybe, but you know what? That game was handed to Tampa Bay. No matter what you say, no matter what you think, that game was handed to them, and it was. It was given to them. And so I have a real hard time now really watching football anymore, all because of that. And so with that being said, you know, I don't know. I don't like that because when my team, when New Orleans won that Super Bowl the first year, they really didn't because that catch that they said was a catch, guy dropped it. Hey, I was happy. We won the Super Bowl. We went. It was great. I waited since I was a kid for that to happen. But I knew deep within inside myself that the guy dropped the ball. Okay. So with that, that's that. Now here's a third topic before we get into other things. So the third topic is my neighborhood. Now my neighborhood isn't the worst in the world, but there have been times throughout my life where it wasn't the best in the world. And I've left home a couple times and come back. And this last time I came to help my mother because she was getting older and she needed someone to be with her. And so I moved in and I took care of her, but now she's not with me now. She's still in a nursing home, but we're trying to get her over here. But it just doesn't seem that we're getting able to do it. So we may have to move her. Well, anyway, to do with that, across the street from me, we used to have these chicken ranches, right? And then they bought up the land and they decided that they were going to build these homes, million point whatever homes. They're really condos. They're if you want to buy the house for yourself, it's a 3 bedroom, self-contained. Each room has a bathroom. and you could have a microwave. And so they did. A lot of guys bought those, rented them out room by room, because we live close to the Silicon Valley, and these guys all go over the hill to do their job because they think it's cheaper to live here and do all of that. But after you do it all, it turns out it's all relative, and it isn't. So I was getting ready to go do something the other day, and I saw these two rigs park up back to back. And today, since I'm at home, guy comes out of the house. I could see in the door. There's nothing in there. And he's like basically loading the last bit of stuff up in the truck himself. People realize that in reality, especially with COVID, that living that far away from where they work and commuting is really not that cost effective. Their kids aren't going to school because of COVID, so they're pretty well stuck here. This $1 million home that this guy bought cannot afford it because he's probably not working. But if he sells the house, he can get his money back, and then he can live off that for a little while. So that's probably what they're doing. This neighborhood has had its share of crap, good and bad. Sometimes it's pretty good. Other times it's bad. We got a lot of drug activity that goes around in this town, not just this neighborhood. So with that, there's a lot of reasons why people move out. They realize that it's not as cool as it is. There are some neighbors that are louder than others. There are other people that just don't give a crap about your stuff. Case in point, somebody put all their New Year's shit in my garbage. Didn't even ask me. I know who it was because the camera caught him. So with that, that's all behind me now. So here's what we're going to get into. A friend of mine was telling me this, which I agreed with. Every time a big event happens, Super Bowl, Valentine's Day, whatever it is, anything that's a big day, they're going to, super spreader alert, and back they're going to go. Well, Super Bowl was one because if you remember how Florida is, there were a lot of people there that didn't wear masks, weren't doing anything. They were all tight. Well, it's going to bring it all back. Sure it will. So with that, my friend was right. Every time there's a big major event, they're going to pump it back. Now they're having all these things going on. Oh, look what this happened at this, and look what this happened over there. And I'm just like, wow. Now, there was a time in my life where I was really big into politics. Okay. I might argue politics, but I'm not as much into it as other people think. When I see that most of these guys are puppets, I don't care who they are, I don't care who runs it. I think the only reason why the couple presidents like Reagan and a couple others did what they did was because it was just different. But now, and I'm telling you this, it doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter whether it's an all Republican House and Senate, whether it's an all Democrat House and Senate. But if you make everything one, doesn't matter who it is, that's a dictatorship. That's not a republic. That's not a democracy. That is a dictatorship. Again, I'm probably going to not vote this next time. I voted, and I'm not telling you who I voted for, but just to suffice it to say it wasn't Orange Man bad. But I didn't vote for, my first vote was Rocky De La Fuente, just so you know. So there it is, it's out there. But I see all these status quo presidents as the same. I really don't believe that who's going to serve the whole thing. I think something's going to happen to him health-wise, and eventually he isn't going to be there, and they're going to have to sit somebody else in for it. I could just see it, okay? I could see it coming. And, they want this, and, they don't want that Republican in, and, they don't want this person in, and, they don't want that person in. And pretty soon, it's one party. I don't care who it is. Republican, Democrat, Independent, Green Party, Libertarian, whatever it is, if it's one of that and just that then becomes a dictatorship. So, come to find out, the deciding vote in a lot of things happens to be a certain person. Wow, isn't that interesting? Huh. So, we got a lot of things that are coming, a lot of things that are on the way. Again, as I told you guys in a different video about Gil Broussard. Gil Broussard is a very, very intelligent guy. He knows a lot about this whole Planet X. He calls it 7X. He puts a lot of Bible stuff together and shows you how the things have happened. And back in the old days, when I was on my channel in 2011 and we began all this, he was more open. But like I said, everything he has is Facebook. I don't even know if he's on Instagram, Facebook, here. It's all basically just you can't comment. You can like it, but you can't comment it. And he has a certain group of friends, and that's it. Wow. You can subscribe, but there's no way to get a hold of the guy. I wrote him in Messenger, then come to find out he has a Patreon account now. I'm not saying anything against it because I do know people that do need to make a living, and they're not making a living if they're doing it that way. Okay? So I understand that. But he's very, very good on what he's telling you. And what he told you was this. And then that's going to bring all the naysayers out again. And he said, so today is what? The 8th. So 12 more days. He said that if you can't go out with your own telescope or you yourself and go out and look and see it yourself at a little bitty dot, little bitty, not big, little guy. If you can't see it yourself, then more than likely it ain't there yet. And that means that it's going to be more time. You do have to stop and think about that. Biblically, there's not a lot of things that have happened all the way. And they do. They have to get really close before then that happens. You see what I'm saying? But is this whole thing trying to divide people? Sure it is. Who likes this guy? Who likes that guy? Who's this? Who's that? You do this. You can't do this. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, pretty soon your TV will be all regulated as to what you watch. See what I'm saying? I watched the Super Bowl pregame. I haven't watched a game pregame in years, in like the last couple of years. Everything that a lot of people didn't want to watch the NFL for was in it yesterday. It's got nothing to do with racial, not race. It's just that certain people don't want to have to deal with certain things. So I guess the best thing you do is turn it on later when it's all over. See what I'm saying? So with that being said, I can't tell you when this thing is going to come. I'm sure it will. But the thing is, although I will tell you this, 2, 3 months ago, I used to go out to where in my front yard and look out this way to the back when the moon would be there, and you could see this really small little red dot, but it wasn't Mars. It was red. It wasn't orange. It was red. Red like a LED light. I've seen pictures. People have given them to me. I mean, over the years that I don't have. The person that I talked to years ago, they knew more than most. They had real telescopic pictures. And when he would tell you that, oh, he saw it, it didn't mean he went outside and looked. It was from a telescope, and they were sat in an observatory and they looked at it with an infrared lens. So, I don't know. He was right about YouTube and how it was going to change, and sure enough, it did. YouTube is now this place I don't like. I really hate to be on it. I mean, I don't mind doing these videos, but they're saying all independent news stations are going to be gone. You'll only listen to what you want to. I mean, what they want you to. All your amendments are going away. Nobody seems to care. If you try to say something about somebody else, oh, that's not a reputable news site. I don't trust any news sites, really. I trust going out there and seeing it. Like the weatherman telling you it's going to rain and it doesn't and it's sunny all day. So, with that, I can't tell you myself when this thing will appear. I don't know. Bible says no one knows time or date. There are earthquakes that will uptick. There was an earthquake in Yellowstone. Even though it was only a 2.5, I'm going to go back and cruise some of them. Anyway, I don't have much else to tell you guys, but, thank you. I got up to 50 subscribers. One day maybe I'll have 100. I don't think I'll ever base it back to 500 like it was. All the guys that followed me back then either don't believe, thought I disappeared, or whatever. It just took me a long time to come back. First I got into weight training videos, and that wasn't really going over. I thought, well, maybe I'll just go back to what fits. Coming times, things that are happening. People sit there and tell me that I'm a conspiracy nut about Bill Gates. Well, then why did he tell you in a video that was actually out about getting chipped for COVID? Why did he say it? Why is the chip 060606? See what I'm saying? So with that being said, there's a lot more to go into. I just thought I'd kind of hit you today with a quick morning video to let you know I'm still here. And to you, my friend Dusty, again, if you want to be part of my podcast, let me know. I tried to message you. I've messaged you once because I know you're going through a hard time. Anyway, my friends, peace. I'll be seeing you. You guys all have a really good day.